I don't know why I don't have music. I didn't get
Why don't
music.
you have music? What's up with that?
I don't know. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited that you're here. It's Friday. Y'all know I do Fiery Friday. This is a little bit different this time, but I got a familiar face with me. Super excited. It's been what?
About a year and a half.
No, it's been longer. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
2020?
Mm, I don't know.
Everybody 2020 or 2021 began in 2021, something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, but I'm super excited that you're here having this conversation with me. So, welcome,
Mhm.
you guys. For those who do not know me, I'm Tisha Marie Johnson. I am a speaker, I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, I am a transformational coach specializing in health. Y'all know your girl, her health journey. Hey, getting it in, but also, we can't get away from relationship, and we're gonna help y'all out tonight. And also wealth. So if those areas appeal to you, you need to get your body right, your money right. And ladies, if you want a man, then you need to connect with me. But I am super excited that you're here. Hey, hey to my Facebook group. I hope you guys are there. Say hello so that we can say hello back. I'm gonna try and get these comments working, but I'm super excited. um, I have to go back a little bit. A couple years ago, I did What He Really Wants. It was a relationship summit, and we talked to men about what they want. Because, ladies, guess what? Some of y'all, and I'm gonna try not to go there, Omar. Some of y'all tripping, like for real. Okay, so I gotta put some powerful men, some mighty men in front of y'all, so y'all can continue to hear and hear and hear and hear until y'all get it right. Because some of the ideology that you have about relationship is flawed. We're gonna get into a little bit of that, but we're gonna wait because I know I will go down that relationship hole and we will stay there. So we're gonna talk about some other things, but I want to present to some and introduce to others my amazing. And when I met him, we met online and then we had a conversation. I was like, this dude is dope. And so I was like, I got to get him on my summit. We connected. We've been in conversation ever since then, and it's just been an amazing thing. I veered off a little bit from relationship as well as he did, but we still talk about it, okay? Because again, y'all out here doing the most. But I'm super excited. Omar, greet the people, tell them what you want them to know, and then we're gonna get this conversation started.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Omar Speak Life. I'm just here in the building just to spread a little wisdom and help anybody. I'm an author. I am a speaker. I'm a life strategist, entrepreneur, and yeah, I do still work a 9 to 5. So yeah, operations manager as well. So I hold it down all day long. I'm always grinding. Love the grind. So the grind is good. But yeah, it's good to be here with my beautiful friend, and I'm waiting. So, because I'm curious to see what y'all got to say, what y'all want to know, so we can help y'all out.
Woo, well, I actually didn't get questions, just people saying they're ready for the conversation. So
Ooh.
we just gonna, we just gonna do what we do. And but I do have some things. We're gonna talk about life, we're gonna talk about leadership, we're gonna talk about love. But let's start with leadership. And it
Okay.
kind of is a relationship question too. But how does a woman who maybe didn't grow up with her father, really didn't have a lot of male um, guidance in her life, how does she prepare herself to have this ultimate relationship where she's used to doing things on her own? She's the woman in charge. I don't like to use, people talk about alpha women and all of that. I'm not doing that. But she's the woman that she pays her own bills. She anything that needs
Mhm.
to happen, she has to do it. How does she prepare herself
Mhm.
for a good relationship, not just any relationship? Because as a woman, as a strong woman, and look, as a strong Black woman, that's what I saw model strong Black women. But I want a strong Black man. A man that I can tell what to do and run over is not going to be good for me. So, how does that woman, especially if she struggles with her power, so to speak, the boss chick, how does she really prepare for the ideal relationship?
Balance. Balance is key. You have to understand the duality of who you are. You have to understand that even though you're male or female, you are born with masculine and feminine energy. So a lot of men don't realize that. A lot of women don't realize that. Women who have not been raised in a home, I would say, with a man or have had brothers to try to help them, they are very independent, which is nothing wrong with that. But you also have to understand if you want somebody in your life at some point when you're beginning the dating phase and you guys begin to get serious. I'm talking about in the 6 month period. Begin to test and see if he is open to doing certain things. Like, for instance, me, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I believe in washing the car for you every once or two, every 2 weeks, whichever one, because that's something that I want to take off your hands. I wouldn't want you riding in a dirty car. Make sure your oil's changed because a man should want to make sure that you are cared for. So these are things that he should be taking off your hand. Things that a man would normally do, he should be taking off your hands. If you pay somebody to cut grass, he should offer at least to cut the grass. It's just little things like that that a man should be able to do to show you that he's serious in engaging with you and wants to be with you. But a woman also needs to love herself. First of all, you need self-respect. Self-respect is a main thing because a lot of people say, oh, I got self-love, but they really don't have self-love because they don't even respect themselves because they're out here doing stuff that don't make no sense. But you respect yourself. Once that respect begins to grow, then you begin to understand that there are things that you needed. Like you have to have time alone. You have to learn how to meditate. You have to learn how to touch your soul before another person touches your soul. Because if you know how you want to be loved and you can bring peace the way that you want to be bring peace, then when that person comes to your life, they should be able to do everything you do the same or on a greater level. And that is when you know that you can relinquish the masculine into that man and allow him to do his job and love you correctly.
That's great. So, let's see. So many places I could go. What
Nice.
does respect look like to a man?
Wow. What does respect look like to a man? She got her hair done. She got a no, it's like, but you gotta have. I mean, you gotta carry yourself in a way, and I know you just, but you gotta carry yourself in a way where a man knows he just can't run over you. He has to be able to look at you and be like, okay, this ain't gonna be easy. Like this is gonna be a feat. And I ain't trying to. I'm not talking about playing hard to get, but I'm talking about understanding the psychology of a man. Actually having a conversation. Each man is different. So when I say understand the psychology of a man, have the conversation. Talk to him. And here's the thing, don't be afraid to go in any area and talk and understand. Allow him to know your boundaries and what you will and won't do. So, with that being said, you can't look like a pushover. You have to be able to say, be assertive in certain areas because some men will try you just to see if they can get past. It's just you have to have the conversation and know that I am this person. So, of course, we want to see you hair done. You ain't got to be all makeup done, but you got to be presentable. And we want that. Presentable lets us know that you care about yourself. Um, just being that type of individual around family and friends, how you are with family and friends, and you see the trust level and the respect level that you guys have for each other. So you're not calling each other bees and hoes and all that. Like you're really saying, "What's up, girl? How you doing? Long time no see." And you are actually dapping each other up, where you guys are showing love and you're supporting one another. That shows a man that you're really a stand-up type chick.
Ooh, you mean the B word is not a term of endearment?
Nah, not at all. Neither is the N word. That's why if I come around brothers and they say, "Oh, what's up, Mike?" Not in my vocabulary. Because if it's in my
Okay.
vocabulary, problem. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. You guys, thank you for joining. If you're just joining us, you have joined us for this powerful conversation about life, love, and leadership with my special guest, Speak Life Omar. Super excited that you're here. Listen, if you haven't shared the broadcast already, I don't know what you're waiting for. Somebody needs this conversation. So please go ahead and share the broadcast. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we will get to them throughout the broadcast. But again, welcome and thank you for joining us. So, self-respect. I, I believe in looking nice, just period. But especially if you're in a relationship, I know a man does not want you looking any kind of toe up from the floor up. Now, there are days when we got to get our hair together, we got to get all that together, and it might not be as cute as normal, but that shouldn't be a way of life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we not doing bonnet ministries and all of that, and we could really go into a different subject about what a wife should look like. But from the perspective of a single woman trying to attract a man, how, what how do you know a woman has self-respect? Just by looking at her, or maybe even
Uh,
having a brief exchange with her.
and just looking across the room, I can watch that are, just connecting with you on an everyday basis. Just watching those things. Being able to be engaged in conversation. The conversation is a flowing type conversation, but it's a mature conversation. Like you're not being led into sexual talk all the time. It's not like if a man is continuously leading you into sexual talk, you might want to watch that conversation. Because some men they do that just to test the waters and see where your mind is at. And in the process of really learning a man, you got to earn him at the same time. And that's one thing women don't understand. Because as you are talking to a man, you're actually earning his mind, you're earning his trust, you're earning his respect. So where your presentation comes, that's where the presentation lies with him. So if you present yourself as somebody that's kind of like out there, kind of loose, and you kind of wild with it, or hard or stern, you got a lot of masculine energy, or just a woman who understands who she is and carries herself with pride, honor, integrity, and character, we pick all that up and we read the room and we read you at the same time. So yeah, keep it real
Wow.
simple.
So
I
what's
can't
your
say, I can't say every man. I can say I do. That's how I
Yes,
gauge
got it. Absolutely. So you mentioned about if he's often bringing up sexual things. What else should a woman be looking out for?
bragging about money, brag
Okay.
name drop, um, clout hopping. A man should be able to stand up on his own right, and it shouldn't be like they say real bad boys move in silence. And I would say that is key because you have companies out here that are making billions of dollars that you never heard of. You have people making billions of dollars you never heard of. So and I'm not just equating with money. I'm just saying that there are things and forces in our lives that move us in different directions that we have no clue. So most men, when you see them, they are mysterious. They do know how to hold conversation and very well rounded, but they do move in silence because they don't need everybody knowing their business because they know that too much talk can definitely trash, any type of progress you may have. You will have haters. They know that, so they have to protect themselves against those haters. These are men. These are real men who actually know how to carry themselves. And even when they're engaging with a woman to the point where pulling out a chair, they have manners. You know, when it comes to drinks, they probably most men that I know, older men, two drink minimum when you're out. And they get what they want, but they get like two drinks, three maybe, but two drink minimum because they want to be able to be conscious and cognizant of everything that's going on around them. So yeah, being able to read a man, it shouldn't be too hard for women because men feed off you more than you think. We feed off the conversation of a woman more than you think. Whatever you say, We're taking it in. We're taking it in. You can say the moon. If he's really smitten by you, you can say the moon is purple. He say, really? I didn't know it turned colors. I had no clue. But women have the right. Women actually can direct not only the conversation, but if you're a strong woman in your right and he has that respect for you, you can guide that man in more ways than you know. I mean, Michelle Obama led her man to the White House, and then after that, he let her do her thing, and she brought home $145 million in 1 year. What? So, guys, behind every great man is a greater woman.
Listen, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this conversation is, and with you, because we're just talking about what men aren't, what women aren't. I'm like, okay, when we're going to talk about some answers, how are we going to put all of that aside? Yes, some of it may be valid. Let's have the discussion. Let's have the hard conversation and really get to some solutions rather than all of this bickering. And I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I heard a lady say we all in the matrix and all of that. I get it. Okay, but at a point, you got to say enough is enough. And we have to stop perpetuating this what men ain't, what women ain't. And that's why I said for this month, I don't want no woman on my timeline talking about Happy Father's Day to me. I will block you. You are not a man. I understand that. Yes, you're not a man. Don't go down that road. And listen, you chose him. Is really the deal. You chose him. So if he a bum, he was a bum.
That's where we come into it. This is where women do not understand, especially Black women. So let me put that out there. When you look at the world and who rules the world and who moves the world more than any other ethnicity, it's a Black woman. They want to dress like you. They want hair like you. They want, the pizzazz like you. They want the feistiness of you. They want the beauty. They want the booty. They want everything.
Yeah.
And I'm being real. When you look at it, fashion, culture, music, whether it's degrading a Black woman or building a Black woman up, whatever it is, it's always about the Black woman. So when women, not just Black women, but women in general, when y'all begin to choose, you gotta remember, when a man comes to you, he's looking to be chosen. If you look at any species on the face of the earth, the woman always chooses the mate. So my question is, when you start talking about that man, oh, he ain't this and he ain't that, he was a reflection of what you picked at the time that you picked him. Now, the problem might have been that the time that you picked him, you probably was ovulating at the most highest point that you were ovulating, because studies have shown that women who are ovulating normally take guys who come at them with a lot of tests, because it's that mindset, it's that seasoned breeding. You don't even realize that your energies are connected on that sexual level, not even a mental capacity. And with that being said, you chose somebody out of a carnal mindset, thinking it was a mental, mindset, because you guys had a conversation, because he talked a good game. You missed the cues, the red flags, the black flags, the smoke, and all that. And then when a dude come by that's like, hey, I really would like to get to know you and talk to you about, possibility of just having a good dinner. Nah, girl, I won't talk to him. I want that one right there. Because physically, he said some things that turned you on, where this guy was really genuinely wanting to get to know you. So you turned down B, you dealt with A, and then you wonder why your life was in dismay.
It's horrible. That's real. And you just have to, I say, know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
You got
to walk away, know when to run. Okay.
I was talking to somebody. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'll be nice today. Be nice. Because I was talking to a friend of mine. I said, you might need to do something before you go on a date. You might need to release or something, because at the end of the day, you picking some bad ones. And I kind of asked her the question, were you ovulating? She's like, Oh, it was. Bad choices. Bad choice. Just like when men get too riled up and they got too much test, guess what? Ugh, they pick the wrong woman. And they do. Every man is guilty of it. See a beautiful woman, great body, you chase her, and she knows you want her. Come to find out it was Nightmare on Elm Street. You didn't know.
Okay. Wow. Okay, we have a comment. I don't want us to get too far from in the conversation. She says, talk about the concept that men appreciate intimacy without expectation of sex and the misinterpretation of that. In a discussion with a young man, I shared that people have to communicate because it's not common knowledge.
True, people do have to communicate. You said intimacy without sex, and how do men appreciate that? Hmm. You got to ask yourself first, what is intimacy to a man? Each man is different. So if you haven't spoken to that man, you're not going to know. Intimacy for me would be conversation. I'm a sapio. I would say sapio slash demi because I love love, but I'm also sapio. We have to have good conversation. That's intimacy to me.
Yeah,
But in the process of it being a conversation, conversation leads to connecting, leads to chemistry, but also leads to comprehending of who the person is. And I'm connected to you on so many levels after learning these things that the relationship is blossoming to something that we can comprise into something special and unique in our own manner. But a lot of people speak on the surface level and not an in-depth level. So you are right. Intimacy level needs to be spoken with men, but you have to find out what his intimacy level is.
absolutely. I think a lot of times people go with chemistry, but like you said, if you don't understand, first of all, your what you like most intimately, and certainly you're not exploring what they like intimately, you'll mistake that chemistry for something deeper, and it really isn't. So you do have to. So do men like physical intimacy
I mean,
without
I've,
sex
I've shared
involved?
my head rub, that's intimate. I like to, chill with my lady. We talk and, that type of thing and spend time together. It just all depends on the man. I mean, because with some men, they might be workaholics and they might want to sit back and watch the game. You may have to watch the game with me, even though you don't like it. But if you take an interest in something that he likes, that's intimacy to him. Because guess what? When he met you, you had to take interest in everything that you liked. It's the number. You like to dance, guess what? He gonna dance. You like to travel, he gonna say trips. If he's that guy. If you like to go out and eat, he gonna find whatever restaurant that you love and one better, just to say, I didn't know about this spot. Yeah, no. Just so he can say he showed you something. Men will do what they need to do in order to be intimate with you. And women need to understand it's easy, but if you invest in one or two things that he likes, that man probably end up giving you the world. You have no idea. But
Wow.
we live in a day and time where people are selfish and it's me, 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 me. And because it's me, 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 most men are so closed off on even letting women know what it is that they do in fear of that might be used against them. So you have to learn, you have to really show him that you are actually desiring to want to know more about him. You're not insecure about knowing things that, he's intimate about, things that he cares about, and that you really want to dive deep into who he is as a person. Because when a man feels secure with you, that's the intimate phase. Because most men don't feel secure with half their women. Because a lot of women got that mouthpiece. And there's nothing wrong with saying what you need to say. I'm going to speak my mind. Sure, speak your mind. But you also got to remember in the process of speaking your mind, sometimes women need to realize, am I close enough to that man to destroy his confidence?
Mm,
And that if you destroy his confidence, you destroy the intimacy.
yeah.
So you have to be very careful. Because I remember dating a woman and I was really, really into her to the point where I knew I was growing that way. And my brain, my common sense kicked in and we were talking one day. I said, please, going forward, watch what you say because your words are close enough to hurt me. And you have to watch because you can build or you can break a man. So yeah.
Mm, 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 mm. You guys, thank you for joining us. If you haven't shared the broadcast, please go ahead and share the broadcast. I'm here with my amazing friend, Speak Life Omar. He is kicking it. They're giving you props in the chat.
Yes.
And super excited to be having this conversation with you tonight. So again, share the broadcast if you have not already done so. Make sure if you have a question, put it in the comment, and I definitely will try to address it before we get out of here. So let's shift a little bit to life. Life has been different. And I share with you that these last 2 years, oh, we have certainly been eye-opening. I've always been active, always doing a lot of things, but in all honesty, I was doing things according to somebody else's expectations of me. And so this last 2 years just really opened my eyes to, okay, there was a point when I hit 50, I was like, is this all there is?
Wait,
So,
we're 35.
thank you, darling.
Okay.
Yeah. But these last 2 years have just like blown my wig back. Okay. And I don't even know that I was just kind of going through the I was going through the motion of things. But I'm not oblivious. I'm self-aware and I'm aware of things going on around me, but I was living in a fog. I got comfortable or complacent, but really not living a fulfilling life. And so there definitely is a difference between being selfish and self-care, so to speak, because you have to have a level of space where you say, hey, I might be good for this situation, for this organization, for this family function. But is it really what I'm supposed to be doing right now? And those are the kind of conversations that I have with my ladies. You might be qualified, but is it really what you're supposed to be doing right now? And so I just had this, I have to call it an awakening that, okay, you've been living for everybody else. You have yet to live for you. And so life is so different from 2019 to 2022. How has the stuff going on, how has that impacted you and how has it changed you?
That's a good question. I can honestly say I was fine during the pandemic. I didn't get sick one time, but I would say I took a journey before that happened. From 2011 to 2018, I didn't date. I didn't date. I basically revamped, retooled, re-engineered my mindset. So there was a lot of things that I took out of place that wasn't working, and I put in place that was working. And I began to dive into anything that I could think of. I mean, I took a break from religion, all that, just study things on psychology, physiological makeup, understanding history, understanding where people came from, understanding life, understanding love, understanding sex, Kama Sutra, Tantra. I dived into everything that I wanted to learn to make myself a better person, not just for me, but for my mate. So I became not only happy in my bubble, I became content with just being in my bubble. But then when I came out, I realized that it might have been good, it might have been bad, because I know how to love me. Now the question is, does she know how to love me when it comes to dating? And the first lady that I dated, she didn't. She was still going through some of the things that she was going through. So then when the pandemic hit, I was single at the time. Well, I was in the process of breaking up with the person and going through the singleness. I was happy. I was in a happy place because I was back to business as usual, where I was learning and growing, but I was embracing and evolving as me, a new me. And the thing about it is, if you haven't seen some type of change within 30, 60, 90 days of you being alive, or you haven't learned something new, something's wrong with that picture. Because as a person, you're supposed to evolve, and the day that you stop learning is the day that you die mentally and you begin to regress and digress. That's why people say, oh, I'm beginning to forget stuff, because your brain is not being challenged. Your brain is not being active. So certain areas in your brain begin to shut down. So as a human being, in order to live forever mentally, you got to keep on driving and thriving. And for you church folks out there, I want to say, Paul said, live full and die empty. So that means you have to live a full life and begin to enjoy life on many different levels. We say no to many things that may propel us in a different way of thinking, that may help us open up and unlock things that have kept us captive and kept us away from being the best me or you that you could possibly be. So I live every day, and you have to live every day. So when the pandemic hit, I was fine. I was crazy. Um, I can't say that for everybody around me, because they was panicking. I don't know why. I was good, going back and forth to work, chilling, having drinks every now and then. It's cool. It's a great day. You know, you're off today. Okay. Sleep in. No problem. So, yeah, it was good.
Wow, that's interesting because I was single going into the pandemic, and shortly thereafter,
Mhm.
someone came into my life. And I'm thankful that we were in a pandemic
Mhm.
because it allowed me to, you had more conversation. You had time to see, because wasn't nothing going on. You had time to see if what they were talking about was really real. And
Mhm.
so I just appreciate that. Obviously, that didn't pan out at all. Hallelujah. But I that taught me a lot about women and what we do when you have the heart, you want to be in that relationship, you want to be in love, you want to perhaps even get married. And so, it really made me say, okay, yeah, I got to have some conversations about this, because we'll continue to go around the mulberry bush if
Yeah.
we're not careful. You will look up, it will be 20 years, and you still in the same pattern, not understanding how to get out, sometimes not even understanding that you're in a pattern.
Or
But
how you got there.
exactly. And that's important. My healing journey, I had to heal me first, because I realized that I was not attracting the right kind of person to me, although they seemed okay. But
Mhm.
I had to work on me. And that's when I discovered, hey, there are a lot of hurting people out
Mhm.
here. And unless you deal with that stuff, and of course, men do it a little different, I think. But until I don't know many men that took the path that you took, said, "Hey, I'm gonna take a break. I'm a step back from everything, and I'm going to discover me because of the pressures of life or whatever it may be." But I think it's crucial, and I think you have to know what your purpose is, and why do you do the things that you do.
Mhm.
I got a good government job because that was what people told me to do. It didn't matter that I was miserable. So what, you miserable? You paying the bills. What you fussing for? About that good government job. What a good government job laid me off. And my bill collectors didn't care that I wasn't working. So I'm just gonna live in misery, but I got a good government job. No, I had to make some changes. I had to really dig deep. And, first people, because of course we didn't know we were going to be locked down for 2 years, sort of, kinda. So a lot of people took it like, oh, I'm Netflix and chilling. Some people took it serious. Some people realized that the situations and the circumstances they were in, that they really didn't like that place,
Mhm.
and that they needed to do something different.
Yeah.
So certainly, it life looks different, and so moving forward for you, what does 2022 and beyond look like in the life of Speak Life Omar?
Let's see. I would say, and 2020 was a good year because I wrote that book in 30 days too. So I dropped that book in 30 days. So yeah, I was clearly in my zone. Going forward in the process right now, I'm actually dropping a book at the end of this year. It'll be finished in October. Um, Marriage is not the final destination. And then I got two leadership books too that's going to be dropping at the end of the year. So I've been a busy bee. But not only that, in the future, I'm looking at, I just got asked to do radio show. So we're looking at that. And then I got somebody working with me on a movie script. So I've been kind of busy. I've been kind of like around dabbling and stuff, you know. And then what else do we got going on? We got the books, we got the movies. Um, yeah, just I mean, right now, I mean, and then love, of course, you know, love is in the air, love is around. So you know, I want to come off the market, you know, I don't want to be on the market, you know what I'm saying? So of course I got to give people the opportunity to come. So they're coming, and I
So
think
do you want a woman to shoot her shot? You want someone to DM
no, no, no,
or
no, no.
ladies, y'all need to back
I'm cool. Trust me, I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't need nobody shoot no shots. I'm cool. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Because I'm sure somebody gonna be like this. I wish somebody would shoot their shot. So you know, I
Well,
mean, going
give
forward.
is dry. No, it's I'm just kidding.
Hey, I mean, I believe in treating them right. I believe in treating them right. But what you said was key about being by making sure that you understand that, you know, hey, you was in something and it didn't work. I don't think people realize that they had been married to people for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and really didn't even like that person. And you have to like your person. This is where that learning and earning comes from. You have to like your person. And a lot of
Right.
people don't like the people that they're married to in a race, in a or even a relationship with. And the sad thing is people will engage in relationships with people who only bring one thing to the table, and it's sex. And
Right.
there's nothing wrong with sex. And I tell people, hey, it's nothing wrong with sex. You
That's
just
not the only thing.
that's not all it takes. Because at some point, you know, you're not going to be able to have sex. So now the question is, do you have enough
No point.
conversation? At some point, I ain't gonna say nothing because I'm at 120. I'm still gonna get in here. But
No.
I'm saying, at some point, some guys who don't take care of themselves, it's gonna be as early as 60. Yeah,
Or earlier.
or earlier, because now you know studies show that back in 2018 that the average 40-year-old, no, the average 20-year-old male had the testosterone level of a 60-year-old man, which means they didn't really have a drive, which
Right.
explains a lot of the gaming, the not so, you know, gung-ho-ishness or the brashness or the bravado. It explains a lot of it now because I'm starting to look at guys, okay, I see why you kind of like don't have that. Like growing up, we had to have that. That was one of the things to determine who you were as a man in this world. So times are changing. And so men have to learn how to take care of their bodies, their mind. They need to read up on certain things. They need to learn about what's going on in your water, what's going on in your body, because what you put in your body at 20 affects you at 30, at 30, at 40, and then from 40 to 50, and from 50 to 60. And a lot of people don't watch what they eat, let alone what they put in their body. Like me, I drink about 150 ounces of water a day. And most people's like, that's a lot of water. But also, you understand you're made up of 70% water. And for men, we extend when we're excited. It takes water for that to happen. You know,
Wow.
it takes water. So you got to be in tune with your body. You got to know what works in your body and what doesn't work. I can't eat red meat. I can't eat pork. It triggers migraines, and I haven't. But it makes me realize that when you do what your body needs to do, your body will give you life beyond life. Not a vegan, so don't get twisted. And I love my pound cakes. I love my sweets. So, but that being said, I still eat. But you got to work out, fellas. Ladies too. Got to be
Yeah,
fit. Yeah, got to be healthy out here. So yeah.
absolutely. So we have another question in the comments. What are some foundational points for men on how to navigate life, specifically before moving into a relationship?
Navigational points on foundation for a man. Interesting that you say that because I was actually working on something like that. Um, so let's see. She said foundational traits. One is going to be discipline.
This was a man asking that question.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
try. Let's start with discipline. And the reason why I say discipline is because when it comes to the area of women and sex, men tend to get very reckless. And the reason being is because we were taught to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of being um, discipline, we've been taught to be all over the place with our bodies and our members, and we've been taught selection process and teach and go after that person and multiple. We have not been taught to discipline ourselves. So discipline would be the first thing, because once a man begins to realize that in this world you have to grind and you have to really make a way for yourself, not a name, but just make a way for yourself in this world where you can financially have food, have shelter, security, heat, and a way to sustain yourself. Discipline is something that you need because you're gonna have to be able to maintain it, whether it's income or two, three, four, five. You have to be disciplined. The second thing that I would say right here, I have courage, because a lot of men don't have a backbone. You have to know when to say no. You have to know when to say no to your boss. You have to know how to say no to your women. You have to know how to say no to friends and family. And this could be in any area, because your boss might want you to work extra hours. You're like, hey, I can't, I'm too tired. Or, hey, I got family. You have to have the courage to to have boundaries. It could be your woman. Your woman could be pressing you about something. And because you love her and you don't want to hurt her feelings, that's fine. But you need to be able to have the courage to articulate the words for her to understand where you're coming from without disrespecting her or allowing her the opportunity to come back and snap at you to make you feel less than a man. And man was like, well, that's hard to do because a woman's always got to come back. Not if you articulate it right. And if she does come back with a snappy comeback, you might want to rethink your options. Now, when it comes to friends, you have to be able to discipline yourself, because friends will try to sway you the wrong way, try to move you left or right, and you have to be steadfast and start holding them accountable when they're doing things wrong, just like they should be holding accountable. So you have to be that. Sometimes you have to be that light. And when it comes to family, I shouldn't even have to say anything about that. You just gotta stand your ground. That's all there is to it. Because family gonna act up. That's what they do. So, how about humility? Humility is a strong symbol of a man, and even in his success, it stays silent. A man that lets others brag on him, otherwise his own happiness is enough. So humility is something that we need, because sometimes in life we can get too puffed up, we can get too arrogant, and sometimes we can have so much puff upness, so much arrogance that we can't listen to family, friends who actually have a great, or even our woman. Because a woman knows you. Trust me, when a woman want to be with you, she knows you. She knows your weaknesses, your strengths. She knows every attribute pretty much, because she pays attention to detail. When you got a real one, that's what they do. So you have to have the humility to be able to listen to her. Morals, a moral compass. I would go with the saying from one of my favorite movies, and I kind of love it. I can't remember the name of it. I forgot, the Kinsman. I think that's the Kingsman. That's it. And he made a comment, and I learned it a long time ago when I lived in England, and it was manners make us man. So when you have morals, there are certain places you're not going to cross. There are certain things that you're not going to do. There's certain things that you're not going to allow happen to other people, let alone yourself. So, and then there's certain things like, you see $100 on the ground, you saw somebody who just dropped it, you're not going to take it. You're like, hey, you dropped this. Or, you're not going to, try to mess with somebody's girlfriend or wife. It's morals, there's etiquette, there's games to this. So, being resilient. In a world that we live in today, we have to be resilient, because so many things as men are thrown at us. We have to learn to be resilient, but we also need to know how to return, to refresh, to be able to restore ourselves in order to be able to go back out and face that. So there are things that are going to try to knock you down, but you have to be resilient and keep going. And then things that a lot of men don't have nowadays is vision. Vision is powerful, because if you don't have a vision, then you don't understand the version of why you were created. So with that being said, you have to have a vision, not just for your life. If a woman comes into your life, what type of woman would be able to align with you and you with her without damaging or cross-referencing each other's stuff to where it's not going to work? When you guys come together, it's going to be a merging. So you have to be able to have that vision, that forethought, 10, 15 years ahead down the line, what you're looking for. And when you talk to a woman, you know, when a man has a vision, he knows in conversation if that's a woman that he can take with him or a woman that is going to have to stay on the shoreline. He knows this. And be a free thinker. Don't be in a box. Being in a box is one of the most damaging things a man could do because we're prone, and it's from back in the day, and I'm gonna use this because women know it. You ain't gonna ask no directions. I don't know how to get there, and you don't know how to get there, but you don't even want to go ask the gas attendant how to get there because you're too busy trying to be arrogant and be like, I know how to get there. You ain't gonna tell me nothing, or I know how to do it, knowing good and well you don't. If you don't ask, nothing wrong with it. I mean, be a free thinker because being in a box keeps you from exploring and learning this world around you. Even though things may be far-fetched, you might want to learn because I love history. And the things I'm pretty sure, and Coach Marie can attest, because she's learned some things, because I be sending her stuff. She'd be like, oh my God, what? Because I'm telling you, it's some stuff out here. I'm telling you, don't be closed-minded. Be a free thinker.
Ooh.
And as they say, patience is a virtue. I'm going to tell you why patience is a virtue. Patience will keep you from getting into more drama and stress and trouble than you can ever know because it makes you think. When you're a patient man, you're a chess thinker, not a checker thinker. So it's not about quick moves. It's about understanding the strategy, about what it takes for me to get from A to B to C to D without any complications or drama. And they tell you if you can plan your life 6, 12, 12, maybe 15 months in advance, even 5 years in advance, you're a bad man. But just to be able to plan your life from right now to the end of this year is a feat for a lot of people. And if you can do that as a man, very powerful, very powerful. What we got next? What, you got some jewels? You got some jewels?
Oh, that's hot. That's some good stuff. I mean,
No. Go
you
ahead.
started with discipline,
Yeah.
and a lot of times we lack discipline and we don't want to do the things that we need to do in our life, in our finance, in our health, just in our entire life. We don't want to be disciplined, but I don't want to live life and come to the end of my life and realize that there was so much more I could have done
Mm-hmm.
or seen or experienced, but I wasn't disciplined. And I think wisdom comes with age, but you do have some
But
other people that don't have wisdom. So
if you don't discipline yourself, life's going to discipline you, and that's how you get your wisdom. And that's the funny thing, because at the end of the day, when we started talking about, I remember they put these marbles next to each other. It was like it was a TikTok thing, and the process of the things that they gave, like they showed it was a straight line. They put one marble on there, put the other marble. Another marble had ups and downs. It was interesting to see that even though this thing had a straight line, the marble that went up and down beat the one that went straight. So in life, if you are disciplined, you will be able to do things like, see your ups and downs, see all the things that keep you from your destination. But it helps build character, it helps build integrity, it helps build all the things that make you want to be, you know, the best that you can be. So yeah.
well, you also talked about, I mean, all of it was good. And you talked about vision. It is so important to have vision. And contrary to the conversations that are happening on social media, women do want to be led by a man. There are women who want to be the help me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have vision, if you don't know where you're going, what am I helping you with? And
True.
I'm past the point of trying to show you what your potential is, waiting for you to discover it,
True.
waiting for you to go down there. I just can't. You gotta. I'm not saying perfect,
Uh-huh.
but you at least got to be shooting for something.
Mm.
When I was younger, I was that risk taker. Come on, let's do it. Let's go.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
It's
that didn't
okay
work out.
that the potential looks good, but ladies, I need you to start looking at the promise. Um, Future was a potential. Russell was the promise. And a lot of guys like Russell was corny. Russell helped Sierra get her master's back. He wanted to build that woman, not let that woman suffer. And any person who has a partner, you don't want your partner to suffer, and they shouldn't want you to suffer. You guys are a team at this. And that's what you want to be, a team. So when you talk about vision, when you talk about discipline, you guys are on the road to great things. So it's so many things. I mean, I hope that helped him out. I hope that was a start. I mean, I got a list, but I mean, I got,
Mhm.
because that was one of the ebooks that I was working on. 15 things a man needs to acquire, in life. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that was good stuff. I'm pretty sure that helped answer that question. So
Hmm.
we got a few more minutes left.
Okay.
Let's talk about love.
What about love? Which one's that about?
what what does our audience want to talk about now? Wow. Is there hope for great marriages? We highlight the mess, we see the drama,
Hmm.
but do good marriage do good marriages still exist? Is it possible, even if you've had a rocky past, Mr. My relationship story ain't real pretty, but is there still hope for love?
Yes. There is. I mean, I think that it depends on the person and the persons. You will have people who want to be in love. The problem is normally you have individuals who you meet that don't want to be in love. They want to be in fun. And and that's the problem. They want to be in fun. And when a person wants to be in fun and you want to be in love, it's just not gonna work. It's just not. You want to be the best that you can be for that person, and then you begin to see, oh, they want to play games. And the more you try to show them that you are there and you want to be with them, the more they want to play games. But you have to, like I said, align and vision. So when you meet somebody, listen to what they're saying, watch their actions, understand and comprehend the person they are. Most of all, comprehend their past, understanding their present so that you can understand their future and where you can go with them. Because a lot of people don't do that. You don't check the history. That's why the presence that's why when they're present in front of you, they're kind of a mystery because you have not done the background check to understand maybe if she had, a father that wasn't in the home, or she was used to love as somebody beating somebody. You have to ask that question because you're talking about love. Okay, well, here's a question I ask women when we reach about fourth or fifth month mark. What is love to you? And sometimes I ask it before if I'm really interested. And the reason why I ask what is love because I don't want to hear love is patient, love is kind. I want to hear what love is to you because love to you might be somebody beating you. Love to you might be somebody driving you crazy. I'm not that guy. And if I'm not that guy, we can cut ties right now. That way I'm not wasting my time. These are the questions you need to ask. Like, what is a relationship to you? So that when you do that, you begin to build into knowing what kind of marriage you're going to have.
Awesome. So, what is it that I know you can't speak for all men? So, what is it that Omar wants as it relates to love?
Wow, that's a good question. Um, I want my best friend. I want my partner. I want somebody I can be goofy with. I can stupid with. Um, you want that person that you can be stupid with. Y'all can guide each other. You can work with each other on projects. You can build wealth together. You want that all around, but most of all, you want someone who gets you. And you don't want just a person that gets you. You want the right person that gets you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get a lot of people that get us, but they only get us for a season. But you want that right person so they can get you for a lifetime. So I want that person that gets me for a lifetime. So I can actually be vulnerable be goofy, be that person. Because everybody looks at you, oh, you know so much, you're so serious. No, I'm not. I'm really. The more I learn, the stupider I act. I promise you, I do. Because I'm like, I can't change none of this stuff. So I just enjoy life,
Ooh.
and I do. So
I can only think of the conversations we would have had these last 2 years had I known that you were
yeah.
discovering some of
No,
the things I was discovering. Woo,
and here's the thing:
ooh,
what you were discovering, I discovered back in 2009 and 10. So when you found, you're like, oh my God, Omar, did you know? Oh, girl, I've been doing that. Been doing that.
why you ain't tell me, man? Whew, Lord. Anywho, that's awesome. I too agree that that person should be your best friend. Um, because like you said, at a point, I don't believe so, but at a point, some people say sex is gonna be done. We still gotta be friends. I gotta like you, like genuinely. I want to be around you genuinely. If I got to pick up the phone to call my best friend and I get it, the dynamic between men and women, you
Mm-hmm,
might be a little different in that you want to know
mm-hmm.
what's on your woman's mind. But sometimes you have a man that he really ain't into communication like that.
Man, I,
And
al- I always ask what's on my woman's mind. Always. I want to know.
yeah.
I want to know. No matter what, I want to know what she's thinking. Because once I know what you're thinking, we can have a conversation. And if I'm open to being with you, then you should be open to want to know what's wrong with me and what's going on with me.
Yeah. It's a horrible thing to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't understand you, who if you share something, they're looking at you like you're an alien. Cause that's just a bad place to be in. And like you said, there have been relationships who discovered this really isn't the person I want to be with. We just been going through the motions, and it's unfortunate, and I really feel for people in that situation. I know what it was like to be in a miserable marriage, and I said I'm not gonna ever put myself in that position again. I'm not gonna be miserable. I'd rather be by myself and
Mm,
at peace than to be miserable. To be able to say I'm married,
facts. Facts.
mm-mm, can't
I'm
do it.
way on that one. I'm with you. Yeah. I'll be married to someone who wants to be married to me. And we enjoy each other. We can run around the house playing hide and go get it when we naked in our 70s. I don't care. You know. I told you I was playing. I told you the older I get, the stupid I get. I thought.
So, talk about this because I didn't understand this when I was younger. I
Mhm.
thought I meet this person, we fall in love, we get married, and we're gonna be the same people. How do you navigate? And of course, as I got older, I understood, yeah, you're gonna change like that person is gonna change. So, what do you say to the person who wants to be in a relationship, who thinks that they have the person that they want to be with, but you talk about, can I be with them in the future? How do you gauge whether or not you really can have a future with them based on today?
Um, I ask one what she's read, what's the last book she's read. I ask like trips. I want to see things that have expanded the mind. Because if you're expanding the mind, it means you're growing as a person. I shouldn't, after 30, 60 days of being with you, be still talking to the same person about the same thing that I was when I met you. We're growing, we're evolving. So if you haven't learned anything new, you're going to lose my attention span within 3 or 4 weeks. I can tell you that real quick. And when you want to be married to somebody, you got to remember that person's going to evolve. You're going to evolve. So you're supposed to learn, you're supposed to grow, and you guys are supposed to make sure that you guys are growing together, not apart. Because sometimes one person's growing and the other person is not growing. When the other person is not growing, guess what? The relationship doesn't go anywhere. So both of you have to be growing at the same time, and you have to check in on a regular basis.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's look, we come back and talk about that. Open, honest, effective communication is the key for a successful relationship. I mean, in life, period. But if we're talking about somebody that you're going to live in close quarters with, you got to be able to communicate, and you have to understand their style. You got to you just, like you said, it's understanding your partner. And I think a lot of people are just like, this is me, this is who I am, love it or leave it. Okay, well, you're gonna be by yourself. You know, these women that are like, I don't need no man. But behind closed doors, you really do.
You do.
But you feel like you gotta say, I don't need no man. I'm so sick of that conversation.
If you feel like you don't need a man, that's fine. Stop dating. Stop dating. Stop putting yourself in positions where you're going to be out there with men. Then buy a cat. Stay at home. You don't need to go out.
But honestly, it's the woman that's broken that's still bitter. You need to, ma'am, you need to deal with your issues and stop saying you don't need a man. No, you don't need the man that you had, the one that contributed to tearing you down, and the one that you say you want. You're not going to get him until you heal.
Well, let's look at it this way. You have not the man that tore her down. We're talking about the many men tore her down. All the broken promises and all the broken pieces that have come with what you're being presented with when you meet this woman. And you begin to see that it's much as you want to love her, she begins to back up. Much you want to love her, she begins to back up because she has been hurt in so many different ways. She thinks this is a new game, not realizing that you're actually coming authentically to be with her. And if you're coming authentically to be with her and she cannot recognize that, then you need to just allow her to say, okay, well, you know what, how about we just be friends? And that's it. Because at some point she's going to realize, okay, maybe I made a mistake. He is the right guy. And then vice versa with guys. Same thing. We get hurt too. For multiple women we have tried to invest in. And so what happens? Broken people coming together is not going to work. You have to take time to heal, to develop, and learn from your mistakes and make better and wiser choices in order to have a happy, wholesome relationship.
Awesome. One more question from the chat. What's the gateway of a successful romantic relationship?
Communication. I mean, I can't stress it enough, communication. Because communication, she says relationship and sex. Did she say sexual?
No. It's a guy. Relationship. Romantic relationship.
Okay, romantic. Communication. Guys don't like to talk. That's the problem. You got to communicate with your woman in order to know what she likes. Because and I'll put it like this, she has to hear you. Because you can talk all day, but if you're not talking her language, it's not going to work. Because if you're talking her language, she will respond. So you want a true romantic relationship, you must converse in many different ways, in many different levels in order to touch her soul. If you can't touch her soul without touching her physically, then that's not the woman you need to be with. You need to be able to touch her and talk to her. So you have to be able to comprehend everything about her, the essence of what she is, the heartbreaks that she's been through, her ups and downs. You need to understand the story of that woman before you take that woman to glory.
Well. Come on now. I love it. Wow, that was good. I think that answered the question. Again, we boil back down to communication. You gotta learn how to talk to each other. Now, Omar, I attract younger men.
Because you hot, baby.
Okay. Hey. Okay. These millennials, these younger men, they're not all millennials. They don't want to talk. They want to text. They want to chat. They want to.
They don't know how to talk. You think the men bad. So you attracting millennials. I'm attracting people that should have been my grandbaby. 49. You ain't got no business talking to me at 21. You should not be talking to me at all.
Wow.
I don't know why. I don't care. I like older men. I'm not your daddy. Okay? I'm not your daddy. Millennials and that generation behind them, number one, don't like to talk. And when they come to you, the question is, what are you looking for? Like, what is it that you see in me that makes you think that you can step this way? Because the sign on my head does not say bank. It don't say idiot. It don't say fool. It don't say food truck. It says grown man.
Okay.
You know.
Too funny. Thank you, Terry. Listen, I know I'm fine. No. So one more question. He says, how important is sensuality in a relationship? When is the right time to discuss sensuality expectations in relationship?
Sensuality is important. Sexuality is very important in a relationship. But here's when you actually begin to start the conversation when she initiates it. When she initiates it, not when you want it. When she initiates it. You know why? Because when she initiates it, that's when it's going to be off the chain. If she feels like she's pressured, she's going to back up. She's going to take her time. She's going to duck and dodge. She's going to be shucking and jiving. She's going to be crab walking. She's going to do everything in her power to keep her stay away from you. But when she initiates it, even to the point where you might be talking about something as simple, you'd be surprised what conversation opens up the door to that. You never know. So you allow her to open up that door to sensuality and sexuality, because when a woman gives you her on that level, she's ready. Let her talk. She will definitely let you know when she's ready to engage. You don't have to try to figure it out. It's not rocket science. She'll open her mouth and she'll tell you, hey, the things I want to do to you, bend me over, break it down, make me break it from the back. You already know what they're going to do.
Hey.
So I look like, oh my God. But they will tell you. You ain't got to worry about it. A woman will tell you what she wants every single time. But if you don't listen, you'll miss it.
Ooh, gotta listen. And we have to listen to one another. I cannot stress it. We have to listen to one another. Listen, for those of you all that want relationship, that you want love, or you want to improve the love relationship that you have, you got to communicate. You got to be listening. You have to put down your guard. Now, one of the things that Omar did share with me was that oh, he said he's taking notes, very rich.
I believe it. I believe it.
And confirmation.
He's like, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That it's important that I lost my train of thought. Oh.
She opens the gates, my brother. She's the only one that can open them gates, not you. So I just think.
Yeah. So we just gotta come together. You know, I wanted this conversation to nudge some people. I wanted it to kick some people and step on some toes, because we're just going in the same circle. And it's time out for that. Okay, I want to hear everybody out, but at a point, okay, that's why I hate going to meetings. When we talk about the solution, what we gonna do? Oh, we're talking about the problem. Oh, wow.
Well, everybody's talking about the same thing. That's why I don't understand. Like, it's no conversations have changed within the last God knows how long. And then when you bring something different to the table, everybody's like, oh my God, no, we don't talk about that. But you mean tell me that within the last 2 years, you got two guys who came on social media and blazed it up. Derek Jackson, who went down in flames, who was dogging men. And then you got Kevin Samuels, who was dogging women. And a lot of people say, well, no, he was saying some stuff. The key to him and his success was to cater to women because he understood the power of women. So yeah, he was saying negative things when it came to Black women, but he also was saying things that made it seem like he was balancing it out, and it wasn't. He really, truly did not like Black women when it comes down to the wire. Now, when we start talking about how the conversation should be about going forward, what are the plans? What are the plans that you have for your mate? What are the things that you really want to do? And these are discussions where you start to hold each other accountable, because when you're holding each other accountable in a relationship, you begin to learn what you want. You begin to learn where to go. But not only that, you begin to hold promises to each other. Now, Also with friends, your friends should be able to hold you accountable. And then what is the material that you're listening to that's going to help build it? Because
Right.
if you listen to material that's not going to help you build it, and we're not talking about 3 steps and turn around, your man's going to do right. It don't work like that.
Right.
You have to listen to real professionals. And when it's time to get married, we're not going to church to get counseling. Go to a real counselor so you guys can start diving into things that he may not have told you or she may not have told you. Because
Yeah.
these are things that you're going to want to know. Like, well, I didn't know that you were molested at 7 or 8 or 9. These are
Right.
things you want to know. Well, I didn't know that you were done. These are things that will cause a person to be promiscuous or shut down or sheltered or
Right.
not give you all of themselves because they're still in that adolescent state of choosing. So,
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, it's been a pleasure to have you
always.
here. Thank you so much for taking time to do this.
Yeah,
They
you
looking it up in the
right.
chat. Love the conversation. Can't wait for the book to come out. So talk to them again for maybe somebody who missed it about what you got going on and how they can reach you.
Oh man, you can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me on TikTok. Um, Man, those are 2 spots where I'm at. I'm getting ready to do StreamYard probably. That's another thing. StreamYard will be coming probably after the month of July. And so just keeping it busy and doing some things. That's where I can be reached. The book that's coming out is Marriage is Not the Final Destination. It's a book that's dealing with men and women all the way through the dating process, things that you should know, all the way to the proposal and trying to making the relationship and the marriage last past I do. So that's where we're at. And we
Ooh,
have a book called Pride, Personal Responsibility and Delivering Excellence. And then we have Cocoon Season that's actually talking about the things that I did when I took that time out from 2011 all the way 2018 to better myself. So yeah.
awesome stuff, sir. You the bomb. You know you the bomb. I appreciate you. You guys, if you haven't shared the broadcast, please go ahead and share the broadcast. Make sure that you connect with him. Go follow him on TikTok. Make sure that you send him a friend request. And we'll be looking forward to this amazing book coming out. I have a book coming out as well.
Oh, come
I
on.
got some stuff going on right now in the process of some things. But I do think what is this, June? I think by August we're going to be able to release it. It's called The Courage to Emerge. And so it is kind of about my journey, but not necessarily specifically. But I want to help people have courage and live the best life
Mhm.
possible. And so I'm excited about that. I know I've allowed fear to hold me back in a lot of different ways, and no more. I'm like, what are we waiting for? If these 2 years haven't taught you
Right.
anything, life is but a vapor, the Bible says. It is, I hate to say short, but listen, it is. And you got to do it now. Whatever it is, do it now. Yes, prepare. Yes, study. Yes, do your research. But at a point, you have researched yourself into a knowledge coma.
Mhm.
Come on, let's go on and do the dang on thing.
Yeah.
So you got to have
Yeah.
courage. You got to be able to
And
step.
also, fellas need to get a mentor.
Mm,
They need to get a coach on how to be a man. Um, it's not many of those out there, but you need a coach on how to be a man and how to navigate this life. So, those are things that you want to look for. Um, I've been kind of fearful about doing it, but I've had too many people ask me. So, yeah, probably towards the end of this year, I will be opening up for coaching men because I got some guys DM and I get a little advice here. Yeah, get you a coach,
yeah.
get you somebody that you can that can hold you accountable for your actions.
Yep. Awesome. I love to
Yeah.
see that. I have a very good friend of mine. I've always told him that I see men looking up to him and following him because he's given advice about life. We from the 313. So you had to get your hustle, had to get your grind on. And, he has achieved a lot of great things in life. And so I'm happy to hear you say that as well. And if you're inspired by what Omar shared, make sure you connect with him. He's a good brother. Trust me, he would not be back on my platform if he was a good dude. Because I just got to protect my space. So but I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Anytime, you got me. Anytime. All you gotta do is ask. I got you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you guys, thank you so much again. Share the broadcast, connect with Omar if you have not already done so. If you want to see more conversations like this, then you definitely gotta let me know, because I'll stick and move on you in a minute. But if you want to return back to our Fiery Friday conversations, we can do just that. And listen, the month of June, I'm celebrating men, whether they are a father or not, because I don't think we do enough of that. And so I honor you, sir. Thank you again for being here, and blessings and love and life and peace and abundance to you.
Appreciate it. And the same to you. We're not going to sit back and shortchange and act like you ain't doing great things either. So keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on riding, showing them how to do it. A woman of integrity and all that. Love it. So keep on doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys, I will definitely see you later. I'll be coming live in the next few days. I got to get back on this journey that I'm on in terms of helping y'all get healthy. So if that's you want to lose some weight, get better energy, get more sleep, then you need to connect with me. In the meantime, and in between time, love you, love you, love you. Have a great and awesome night, and we will talk to you soon.